Bragas, of course, banned out by Samsung, not wanting to first pick that, not wanting Tucson to have it. And definitely go to ogn.azubi.tv to vote for your super plays. There are some pretty super plays on that site.
There are indeed. All right, Callisto Rise, standard red side bans on this patch. No Maokai this game. Samsung not wanting to first pick it. There is a Rek'Sai ban. They don't want that either. Alistar, and that will be a first pick Sivir. Of course, first victim. Both of our games so far in this best of 3.
Yeah, well, with Alistar out of the way, Sivir's going to be the way to go.
And what will they take on IM side? They have the Rumble, a champion that Apple's done well on.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, Rumble wouldn't be bad. Apple, like you said, has played a lot of that.
They did have some early game success with the Lee Sin. They're actually going to take away the Corki. I don't know about that.
Corki and Annie as well. I mean, taking the Anne away, anyway, not letting them have the Annie-Sivir combo is pretty nice, but
oh wow,
the Hecarim grab for Kube.
That is bold because Apple's best champion is Gnar, and that is a very bad matchup for Hecarim. Azir taken this game once again by Samsung, so happy with Crown's performance, and why wouldn't you be on that champion? So they're building a very similar composition, except they have more flank potential here. Eve on Evelynn would probably be a good idea. That way you can double down on the flank with the Hecarim. And, you know, Evelynn Janna, really good here, honestly. They'd have enough peel for their back line while maintaining a lot of threat with the flank, especially if IM wants to play Victor.
Well, I wouldn't imagine that's a mid-Corki. So the Ashe probably not going to be locked in there.
Yeah, we haven't seen mid-Corki in a while.
There we go.
I think the Rumble coming in much more likely than Nidalee. This would be Tucson's first game on Nidalee.
And mid-Corki was never very big in the Korean scene. Saw it a lot in NA, I felt like, but not a lot here. Yeah, Tucson grabbing that Nidalee.
Difficult champ to play, and I feel that this is more of a takeaway from Eve than it is a pickup for Tucson. We'll see how he does on him. Can he deliver at the same level that a player like Eve can?
Well, now you really can just go Eve.
Yeah, Eve Janna is a nice combination here that would be relatively safe.
Yep. Jungle Kale would be really cool too. It could be a top Kale. It could be a support Kale actually.
Remember,
he is a support. He was at one point a support Kale main. Wraith was.
Yes, he was.
Way back when he was known as Lorray.
Yeah, but in his pre-Ice Bear, his pre-Casper days, he is a man of many names.
Yep, 4 at least. There might be some we don't know about. This makes a bit more sense. Yeah. Eve Nautilus, I like this a lot for Samsung.
Yep, they've got peel, maybe not as much as the Janna, but at the same time, the Janna is weaker to Annie all-ins after 6, so having the tankier Nautilus could do some work there.
Yep.
And there we go. Evelynn and Nautilus, the final lock-ins. Now the question is, what is Frozen going to be playing? They waited a long time to give him his pick right now.
Probably not Zyra. But what about...
He's got a lot of choices. He can play the Victor here. He may be able to get away with a pick like Kassadin if he wants to. He's a very dangerous Varus player, but that might be a little bit difficult to play against Azir.
And what about an Orianna? Could add on to the Wombo combo of the Equalizer. Tivers as well. Looks like it's going to be Varus, though.
Yeah, there's nobody going to be in the middle of the team is the problem to really use the Orianna ults on.
Yeah, I suppose
unless you use it
spread out.
Unless you use it on the Nidalee. If she pounces in, and then you deal with maybe having to pounce in to engage a fight. Usually want to use that to clean it up, so it'll get a bit messy. But Frozen is going to go on to the Varus, a champion that he individually has definitely performed well on. And they're going to have a very strong pick or a poke composition.
Yeah.
Really set up for the mid-game. Rumble, Nidalee, Varus, Corki. Huge, huge mid-game power spike. But are they going to be able to actually push turrets down?
All right, and we're back once again on the Summoner's Rift to see if IM can tie things up with Samsung Galaxy. The fans never deterred here in the OGN studio. And Frozen's Varus has been very good, like we mentioned earlier. He has been fun to watch on this champion.
Yeah, he has to be so careful, though.
He's probably going to die a lot.
Hecarim is a huge threat to Varus. They also have this Eve. Crown is going to be able to get in there and ult him out, as well as the Sivir ult engage. This is a very dangerous time to be a Varus.
Your ults need to be perfect with Varus if you're going to stop this type of engage. I mean, if you can nail Hecarim, it's okay, but...
IM is going to have a strong power spike, and if they can use it to siege effectively in the mid game, they can win this game. They absolutely can. It's a very execution-heavy composition, though, that requires that you hit all of your groupings in your timing window when you're at your strongest. Otherwise, Samsung is... This Hecarim is going to be unstoppable for IM.
Yeah. And so now, see what the starts are going to be. It looks like we've got standard lanes initially. See where the XP ends up going. Looks like they're going to give that over to Apple. Sharing XP as they go on a little bit of a trek together.
Yeah, similar things happening in the bottom side. Looks like Samsung actually going to take the Krugs. They're one of the teams that still likes to take the early jungle camp, one of the very few, in fact, so they're going to return to lane with a bit of an experience advantage, and that's going to cause IM to back off. Apple getting super low at the red buff.
Ooh, yeah, wow. Well, he'll be able to recall now that he's level 2 and go back to lane, it looks like. We'll see if he teleports. Probably will.
Kuve going for the boots first just to bob and weave through the minion wave so he doesn't get hit by the flame spitter, can just get in there and get out quickly.
Well, Frozen quite a bit higher on the damage per minute rating, but both of those guys still lower than the league average overall on their mid lane picks. Frozen not by much though, although still being below average is not good.
Well, it's just such a misleading statistic, too, because that's why I think it should be champion damage, because perhaps you are a more passive laner like GBM, where you're not actively clearing the wave as much. You're just last hitting or pruning it, or depends on the champions you play also, how much damage you're going to do to the minion wave. So I don't know if it's...
See if they change it.
The best indication. Champion damage is a much more reliable statistic on a mid laner's ability to carry.
Big gank on the Frozen. Frozen trying to back away, able to do a lot of damage to Crown in the meantime. They get his ghost, but that's it. So one summoner taken, but none used on the side of Samsung, so definitely a win there.
Looks like they also gave Frozen the big raptor for some health, actually. So trying to use that for a touch more sustain. I couldn't tell. It was right at the top of the screen.
I think you might be right. Although he does have a lot of sustain items early on in the game anyway. So maybe not. Oh, Tucson coming up. And will we have a bit of a gank here onto Kuve? Kuve dodging the spear, running away with that E. Looks like he should be able to make it out. Flash damage from Apple. Kuve still able to make it. Apple flashes for nothing.
Tucson missed his second spear.
Yeah.
And Kuve didn't even have to dodge it. That's just a misplay on the side of Tucson missing the skill shot.
Yep. Wow. Well, it is Tucson's first professional game on this in Italy, and not off to the greatest start we've seen yet.
No, certainly not.
You know, and now Apple really vulnerable in the top lane. This is something that Eve and Kuve could really try to take advantage of. We'll see. Oh, Wraith coming down to join Fury back in lane again. They'll just continue pushing up the lane, getting a nice little CS lead early on, actually. Not bad. And by not bad, I actually mean quite good. Oh, so good.
Very nice indeed. Well, that's what Fury can do, especially on this Sivir in the early game, having that matchup versus Corki. And he got the level edge early, and Fury and Wraith have always been great in the laning phase. Even when they started out last season in the spring, and it was their first season playing together, they'd often take large leads or even get solo kills in that lane. Now, Tucson in a bit of trouble, finally sees him.
Yeah, Eve sees him, does a lot of damage. Will Wraith come over the wall here? Tucson just hopping into Tri-Brush. Looks like he'll be okay. Oh, nice spear. Wow, he hit that one.
Yep, blocked by the W, though, from the Nautilus, so not really going to do a lot of damage. In fact, you know, Tucson, no AP items yet. he's going to have a tier at some point, probably after he finishes his Magus enchantment, and that's going to mean double tier stacking for Incredible Miracle. That's another thing to look out for, but again, Evelyn will probably, Nidalee will probably hit that fully stacked tier mark if you go for Magus enchant first, around like 23 minutes. Really fast at stacking that tier.
We've already been stacking some tiers tonight already, so a little bit of a head start for IM coming into this game.
That's right. If only it worked that way, Noah.
It's the loser buff. If you lose a game, you get stronger the next one until you win. I'm glad that doesn't exist. It'd be pretty bad.
I think it should be just the more times you cry and whine outside of the game, the faster your tier gets stacked.
Wow.
I think a lot of pro players would be really well set up for that one.
Yeah, I think the ladder would change quite a bit. Suddenly people who had never played video games before would be experts at League of Legends. See a lot of them.
I think that's the definition of bronze tier.
Bronze tier, yeah. That's exactly right. Oh, Ignar and Sansar backing away, and somehow the dredge line doesn't connect with anyone, even though that axe is huge. Or anchor.
Axker.
Ankax. Angst.
Yeah,
He throws his angst at his enemies. That sounds like a true support.
Never able to carry.
Yep. Just throws his angst.
Well, Kuve just going for Merc Treads first, trying to get that survivability in the lane. Bit confusing that, I mean, Rumble and Nidalee really has no synergy, but the only lane they could reliably gank is bottom, and they have a choice between a Spell Shield and a very tanky Nautilus. He's gonna go start to leash this blue buff right now. Crown will walk over and take it.
Yeah, so blue buff for him. Wraith keeping an eye on the blue buff on the IM side as well, too, so maybe thinking about going for a little bit of a steal here. Nice poke on the crown from Frozen.
That's just annoying. Gotta not walk through there. There's no reason for Azir to walk through there. Could have gone the long way around because the minion wave wasn't in his turret, so little bit of punishment there on some lazy pathing by Crown.
He was just so excited to get back to lane.
Gotta keep up that farming, man.
Yep, that's right. Well, he's been able to stay even. Tiny bit of a lead. But Frozen shouldn't have any trouble keeping up as well.
Yeah, Ignar has the mobility boots. He's got to be able to use these. It's a bit problematic because Sunstar is so far behind in terms of farm that if Ignar leaves, we could see that develop even further. There's going to be a really good freeze here for Samsung as they stand in front of the turret and wait for that wave. Very, very easily done. And now...
Do they give up too much dragon control doing this?
No, they're fine because they're just going to be able to sit the minion wave right here, and they've got the ability to clear it out at pretty much any time they want.
It's true. They can push it up pretty quick. Eve moving up into the top lane for a lane gank onto Apple. Apple has his flash back, though, so I don't know how successful this is going to end up being.
Well, they have
the
level 6 on both champions.
That they do. Will they pull the trigger on this one, though? No real vision, so it's risky for them to go in. I feel like if you're going to do it, you do it now. You do it right now. Oh,
Apple, they want Apple just to walk up.
Oh, wow, he walked back down.
Nice
he
bait.
chased Kuve. Yeah, that's right. Apple pushing back in. There's the ult from Kuve. And Apple in big trouble now. Equalizer does some decent damage, but first blood goes to Kuve. That was beautifully played.
The mind games were so crazy right there from Samsung. By the way, there was a big risk that Tucson was there. Miss Spear.
Oh, dear. Don't need to miss. Oh, wow. Wow, Kuve body blocking. There's a flash kill for Tucson.
Nice kill.
Yep.
But there is no guarantee that Tucson wasn't there. But let me talk about that gank, because that was very clever. So Apple was refusing to walk up to the wave. So Kuve just goes to kill the pink ward, which puts Apple in a position where, since he's on red side, that's one of the hardest walls to flash in the game. So there was a high probability that if Apple went for, I shouldn't say higher probability that if Apple tried to flash, he'd get...
Whoa, meanwhile, Fury pops his ult to try to save Wraith as Tibbers comes down. Ignar taking a lot of damage. Looks like Wraith is going to make it out despite the ignite. And so, I am trying for a bit of an all-in bot lane, but not going to work out.
Yeah, it looks like Wraith to get a little bit caught out right there. But as I was saying, so they put him into a position where he would have the thickest wall to flash if he tried to go out of that, and a big potential to fail flash. And then Kube just knocks him back, point blank onslaught of shadows to tie him up. And that's going to clean up the kill. But very cute adaptation from Samsung to convince Apple that he actually wanted to walk forward.
Huh. Well, in the end, nice little CS lead and item lead for Kube, picking up the Sapphire Crystal and the Phage so far.
Yeah, Ignite Hecarim, so will be the Trinity Force first.
Yep.
Meanwhile, tons of wards for Samsung. Everybody going back and picking up quite a few in their inventories. Pretty late first dragon this game. Nobody really wanting to go for that quite yet. Wraith getting caught out again. Oh, he misses the dredge line.
Fury coming up to try to do a little bit of damage, but Annie gets a stun, and that's going to be a kill for IM. Wraith really playing a little bit unsafely in the early game. That's the second time he got caught out. And this time, Fury couldn't save him.
Yeah, pretty sloppy.
Oops.
Pretty sloppy play from Wraith. Walking into the river like that 2 times in a row. No more flash after it was burned last time, and then he messes up his skill shot, and that equals another kill and a tie-up in gold for Longzhu IM.
Frozen's been really good with these piercing arrows this game. He's been able to keep Crown consistently poked, consistently using those potions, or biscuits in this case. Here comes Eve. But this time Tucson is going to be there. So he might have a 2v2. Enchantment's done for both of the junglers. But Tucson with a little bit more in terms of items. Oh boy. It's going to be hard to bait Kube in when he's already got less than half health. He's just going to go back.
Well, we're hitting a point where IM really starts to need to make moves on the map. They are very close to finishing that Trinity Force. We can see the
nice
Muramana already done. They're going to be very strong. Crown has decided not to build an arm guard, just going for the Morello Namicon this game. Not that it would help too much against the mixed damage once they begin grouping. Fury also not going critically for the Avarice Blade this game, instead just rushing straight to the Trinity Force so he can be more valuable in team fights sooner. Nice push.
A lot of damage done to this mid lane turret. Yeah, I am looking really good so far in the early part of the game.
This is what they have to do. This is when they need to get these turrets down.
Now, does Samsung maybe try to force a dragon at this point, or try to get some sort of team fight that might help?
You know, they need to just push. They need to just push through and continue to siege. So they can force a dragon as well if they get that vision control, as long as they can continue to push up the lanes. They're getting close. Trinity Force needs to be done, and then they will be in a very, very good place. Crown goes back, instantly buys that arm guard. So taking the laning phase and the poke from Frozen very seriously.
Yep. Already has a bit of damage too. Whoa, Eve taking a lot of damage, gets completely blown up. Drops his ult at the end of it, but that doesn't really help.
Beautiful execution from Tucson and Frozen. Just following up instantly on that poke, commits to the use of the Chain of Corruption immediately, gets the lockdown, and gets the kill.
Yeah. That's exactly what IM needs, too, to keep the pressure off of Dragon. In fact, Tucson trying to just solo it himself now. He'll get a little bit of help from Ignar, or not.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter for Samsung whether this Dragon goes down or not. Because they're simply unable to... Oh, missed the timbers.
Oh, Wraith could be in a little bit of trouble either way, though. Takes a lot of damage. Soundstar takes some damage before Fury has to back off because of Tucson.
Nice spell shield on this. The Nidalee Spear coming through the Tri-Brush, though. Good reaction time and prevents any further follow-up. But yeah, not a good timbers from Ignar to engage that.
Didn't work too well. In the meantime, though, IM is ahead on kills now. They've got the dragon. So Samsung is going to be playing from a little bit behind at this point.
Yeah, they're going to be playing from behind, but they're going to be fine. They're just waiting for this Hecarim. They don't have to commit to Dragon 1, and Dragon 1 came relatively late, actually.
True.
So if we're looking at Dragons, 21.5 minutes for Dragon 2, 27.5 if it's taken instantly for Dragon number 3. That's going to be the time. By Dragon number 3 or Dragon number 4, Samsung is definitely going to be ready to fight. The Hecarim has a CS advantage, the Sivir has a CS advantage, the Azir has a CS advantage. They're still putting down pressure on this turret. There are no turrets down for LZIM yet. They have the Trinity Force. Now is the time to do the grouping to get the towers down, because if they don't hit this, Kuve is going to destroy them.
It's a very good point. Wraith, even Fury hanging out in the bot lane to see if they can maybe make a play there. Nope. Scrying Lens says Sunstar will not be fooled.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, they can just sit here in the Corki lane, and Eve camping the Corki lane right now when they want to push out, they can't group yet because they don't have any outer turrets out. So as long as they can just camp the Corki lane, because the power spikes are going to be Corki and then the Varus once the Muramana and the last Whisper comes in. So he's doing a good job of putting the pressure down right now, though. Crown really having a lot of trouble.
Yeah, Frozen again showing why he's been so strong on this Varus. Drawn some bans, I believe, with that as well, too.
Definitely. It's been a good pick for him so far this season.
Yeah. Down on CS, but certainly making it work from the pressure side of things anyway. Well, nobody can see anybody.
This is actually really smart of Samsung. Just, I mean, Eve's not getting the experience.
Whoa.
But,
They're going to go in. Ult on Annie. They're going to flash anyway. Can they chase this under turret? They're going to grab Tibbers at the dredge line. That's not what you want to bring in. Meanwhile, teleports coming from both teams. Nice equalizer. Fury gets off of it in a hurry, though. And it doesn't look like anyone's going to die from this one.
Yeah, that was actually really surprising that Apple would want to TP into the bottom side for that gank, because the Tibbers had already been dropped. It was a nice Tibbers to block the dredge line and prevent the follow-up.
Ooh. Oh, Wraith missed his dredge line. Jeez. Wraith has been not playing that great this game.
No, he has not. Not only in terms of decision-making, but in terms of mechanics. Missing a lot of dredge lines, and now they're going to have to back off the tower.
It's going to cost them a tier 1. And it's not what Samsung wants to have happen. This is exactly what LZIM needs to do. They need to use this time to push these turrets, and because of a little bit of mistakes here and there from Samsung, they let them do that.
Yep, but I am delivering so far, really committing all the way through that teleport into the bottom lane, and now Frozen tangles with Kuve, who is trotting back up into his top side. Has to use Ghost right there to get away. Crown getting low, but not actually going down. But that's going to prevent Varus from finishing off the turret. So Kuve's little roam into the mid lane did enough damage that Frozen can't finish off the mid lane tower while Crown has to back.
Sure enough. Well, Tucson waiting for Fury here. Can he actually 1v1 him? That's a lot of damage on him already. This is very dangerous. Fury running away. Oh, equalizer comes out from Apple. That should seal the deal. Here comes Wraith. Does it help enough? No, Tucson gets very low. Flash, he gets him with the E. Wraith goes down, but at least he picked up a bloodthirsty support kill in the meantime, but that is a double kill for Apple. Meanwhile, IM takes the top turret. Things are definitely spiraling out of control for Samsung right now.
And that's what you want to do. Tucson is, as a jungler, if he can eliminate the wave clear right now, while Sunstar just commits to killing turrets with his Sheen, that's like a perfect situation. Because there's no one that's going to be able to trade objectives or defend. And even if he dies for that, well, great, you still got the 2-for-1 kills right there. You're still expanding your gold lead and your pressure across the map. Very nicely done.
Very true. And so Samsung, when do things get a little bit too dangerous for these guys? I feel like we're getting close.
We are getting close. This has been a nice hit onto the power spike by Incredible Miracle. They've done a lot of work. That mid lane turret is not long for this world. It has already been severely chipped. And now they have all the time just to go ahead and group in that mid lane. They could just take Corki, put him in mid lane right now, use the Nidalee, who just finished the Seraph's Embrace at 21 minutes here. It was actually a couple of minutes earlier than I thought it would be. So that's very nice. And Frozen is rapidly approaching that point also.
Well, they're going to try to make a plan to Apple here, but Cuvée already very low. He's going to ult back in again and barely survives. That was a risky play, but Samsung needs to take risks right now.
Well, they have to trade objectives. They know they can't defend this mid lane turret at the moment, especially with how low it is. So why not just go ahead, make a play onto the top laner, and see if you can trade turret for turret? They can. So that is a net win for Samsung on a turret that was pretty much dead to rights to begin with. Now,
True enough.
that said, they don't now have anything to trade for this dragon, and they're not going to commit to keep pushing. They go back and shop instead.
Yeah, so I am able to take that second dragon, make it 2-0 on that point. Now, so far, I will say the warding for Samsung has been a bit better this game than it was last game.
Yeah, that is definitely true. Very much helped by the fact that they have a Sightstone jungler this game.
Yeah. And Cuvée has Trinity Force now, so how close are we to Cuvée really being able to do a lot of damage to IM?
I think he's
gonna
just
be
going
tougher
to need
now.
some more tankiness. You know, you get to 2-3 items on the Hecarim, and that's where he becomes a big problem.
Oh, grab
Nice
onto
hook.
Apple. That very nice. Yeah, Apple getting a little bit low. No flash available, but no ult from Wraith, so they really can't follow it up too much.
Yeah, Apple low, but he's probably just going to pop Equalizer on the minion wave and head back to base as it comes through. Nope, just going to base immediately. All the wards in the topside jungle. So Samsung used the dragon to get control over the top of the map from IM so that they could make a pressure play onto the tier 2 tower. But it doesn't go as well as they'd hoped. Apple has his TP nearly back up, and he wasn't forced to ult, and he didn't die, obviously. So they don't get quite as much as I think they would have liked to.
Kuve's trying to split push down here in bottom, but he's struggling a little bit against Sunstar's Corki. Turret getting a little bit low, though. They should be able to take it fairly easily at some point.
So now the question is, can IM finish this game off? Again, we're looking at about a 27.5, 28-minute Dragon, number 3, and Samsung, if they can get enough farm onto this Hecarim, and
Whoa, are they going to actually Baron here?
no, they're just going to bait it.
I was going to say, that seems a little bit risky. Why not take that Rift Sculler, though? They're grabbing it now. They do get bottom lane turret. Cuvée successfully pushes that one down.
Oh, nice.
They find Tucson. Nice pick for Samsung.
Yep, just play around with that vision right there. Make sure that somebody has to come and check it. And IM, everyone is so squishy on their team. Fortunately, Apple at least decided to go for a fast Zhonya's in this case.
That definitely helps.
Not only because it works very well, of course, in his lane matchup versus Hecarim, but because they need him to zone out the enemy team because they have nothing else to prevent their backline from getting jumped on.
Yeah, Crown with the quicker Zhonya's as well, too, though. So he'll be able to get in the back lines, maybe push people out and stay alive, do some consistent damage to this game.
Absolutely, certainly.
That mid lane turret's very low as well, too. So Samsung has a real possibility of just stymieing this push from IM and just evening things out turret-wise.
Yeah.
I'd say they already have.
Yes, they are quite nearly there. Just that mid turret, the difference between these two teams.
Still good wave clear on the side of IM, though. They can push the lane quickly if they need to. Oh, Cuvée in onto Apple, doing a lot of damage there. Equalizer drop. Cuvé's just going to walk right around it. Still, though, not enough vision for him to pursue that. Does get the ult out of Apple, though, which is nice. Might let them put a little bit more pressure on this mid lane and take the turret.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a waiting game right now for Samsung. Cuvée starting to get tanky, though. Shroud completed, Cowl completed, and he has the home guard at Chadman. Looks like Samsung really wants to contest this next Dragon. It's to be definitely the right time for them to do it. Fury also putting on his carry pants this game, has a Phantom Dancer instead of the Static Shiv.
Wow, yeah.
Thinking he has enough wave clear and he just wants to deal that damage, and that is going to be helpful. I mean, he's going to be able to 1v1 a lot of the members of Incredible Miracle with that item.
Might end up needing to also. Dragon coming up in 1:40 now. Samsung could grab this one. At this point, I feel like they're probably strong enough.
Yeah, they are. If they get the right engage, they should be just fine. Now, it obviously would be better if the Frozen Heart was completed. Maybe Kuve had the Spirit Visage or something like that finished. And if Eve in particular was tankier at this stage and had the
Whoa, Crown getting poked so hard, they're gonna flash and try to ult him here. Didn't end up working. Wraith flashing away as well too. Ignar made an attempt at it. Look at that engage. Kuve over the wall. Crown throwing everything in there as well. A double kill for Kuve. Equalizer drop, but it is way too late. Zonia is used by Crown. Flashes away. Apple pushed back by the Emperor's Divide. Zonia is used, but he's not going to do well after he comes out of that one. Kuve all over Frozen in whatever is left of a back line, and that is an ace. Only losing Wraith. Great fight for Samsung.
Beautiful engage from Crown, even though he was low. They saw how much was invested to try and get that kill onto Wraith. Now, of course, Crown trying to dodge these skill shots. He actually cleanses right there when the Timbers comes down. And now look at this setup. There's the flank. No flank wards, 3 men, and then, oh my, onslaught of shadows. Absolutely massive.
Great engage by Eve there, too.
Yeah, Kuve doesn't even have to TP for that one. No home guard necessary. And now the turnaround. Crown still has his ultimate. He's been saving it this whole time. And remember how I said Frozen was going to have a bad time against this Hecarim?
Yep, he does.
Well, I mean, the team has a bad time against the Hecarim.
Yeah, they will now.
But that is why, yes, IM's composition in a perfect world, in perfect play, is very strong. But they have to have the flank wards. If Eve gets on them like that, they just get shattered. And the fact that they lost now, when they're supposed to be at their strongest, and they gave all of these kills over to Samsung means it is going to be a rough rest of this game for Incredible Miracle, and it will be quite surprising if they're able to pull back into this.
And we'll see if they can. A lot of items on Frozen, though. Can certainly do a lot of damage, and you know that could have easily been a situation too where Crown didn't have cleanse up, got poked, got caught, and got killed. So that could have easily gone the other way, I feel like, too.
Yeah, but again, great turnaround. Looks like they're going to try and trade this just for a Baron. Smart.
All right, yeah, why not? A little bit of movement speed. The third dragon doesn't matter as much as this Baron will for Samsung. It's going down pretty slow, though. Looks like they'll get it.
Oh,
yeah,
no, they got it.
Yep. All right.
Wow. I am not even responding to that, actually. They didn't have any vision. And I think that they just figured, hey, we can't go in there right now because if it was a bait, guaranteed they all die.
Yeah. So you might as well get something, you know?
Yeah, push up the mid lane. That's about all you can do. But
take dragon.
The waves right now just not there for Incredible Miracle.
Ring Troll looks disgusted right now, by the way. Does not look happy.
He does not look happy, but
poor Ring Troll.
Poor Ring Troll has to watch IM, his former team.
Aw. In
this game where their hopes of winning are rapidly dwindling.
I would say so.
And here we go, 3-item Hecarim. This game is quickly tilting the other way. Even if we were even in gold right now, or even if IM was 2-3K ahead, this would still start to be in Samsung's advantage, just purely on the fact that the Locket's done, Hecarim's starting to get tanky, they have just a ton of options, and they have 2 Aegises actually. You can see Wraith with his own right there, so doubling up on some of the squishier members in Nautilus and Eve, and then making sure that even if one of them gets poked out of the fight or killed, that there's still that layer of aura protection on the rest of the team.
And it still seems like it's going to be a little bit difficult for Samsung to siege this. IM does have a lot of wave clear.
Yep, and they can just toss out a million skill shots, and eventually some of them are going to hit. on this defense. They do clear out the Azir turret in the mid lane, and they have Corki here just to provide some rockets and some phosphorus bombs.
Really seems like it will take a major team effort from Samsung, unless you're Kuve.
Yeah, that's the issue. Kuve is the issue.
Wow.
Apple cannot stop his split push at the moment. So as long as they keep the other members with actual wave clear invested in they can just split push with the Hecarim, who's also looking to take the red buff right here. He's not going to get it.
Tucson grabs it away. Not bad. No smite on that Hecarim means it is quite a bit easier. Man, Samsung has really gotten a lot out of this Baron buff, though.
Yeah, I mean, they only got one turret, but they have total control over the game now.
I think that's what it's more about, is getting all those wards in the enemy jungle, getting all the lanes where you want them to be. The turret's nice, but it's more about just getting that firm hold on the game.
Yes, and now that they have control over the dragon too, that's basically, 5 dragons are basically the only way that IM is going to be able to win this game. And as they try and push out towards the dragon buff, since this Baron, like you're saying, allowed Samsung to get all these deep wards in, the threat of Kuve with the home guard TP is enormous.
Yeah.
And are they sure that they're going to be able to clear out all of these wards?
Oh, Annie has to run for her life. Kuve will be able to come in and defend that pink ward no problem, and also get the blue buff ready for somebody to take. He'll just take it himself. Nope, gonna give it over to Fury. More bouncing blades, the better.
So pretty early setup here. Obviously, Dragon not going to be coming up for about 2 or 3 more minutes, but they're still trying to keep this stranglehold. They want the pressure on the bottom side of the map. This is smart. Kuve needs to go into the top. Well, with Dragon up in 2 minutes, you don't want to commit too much to the top side, so they're going to try and put pressure on the inhibitor while the rest of the team controls bottom side. I'd say that with the Dragon timer the way this is, definitely the right play. If they had a little bit more time to work with, maybe you start concentrating on the top side of the map instead and have Kuve stay bot just so that you can get more tier 2s down, considering how unlikely it is to be able to successfully split push an inhibitor turret when the game is the way it is right now.
Yeah, Kuve's got his teleport too, so no real worries here.
I'm going to go for that Thorn Mail next.
Why not? And it seems like Kuve could just kind of draw so much attention up to where he's split pushing to that it might lead to a pretty easy dragon for Samsung. Although I suppose they really need to be committed to this dragon, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
They start to lose dragons now, and you get to the point where Samsung's composition will be 6 items, and that is just a really scary place to be if you're Incredible Miracle. But can they clear out all the wards? Kuve actually, 50 seconds left, going to go into his own jungle, take a couple more camps. His
Why not?
His Thorn Mail's done now. That is a big power spike for him in the back line of these fights. Here we go.
Oh, flash ult onto Tucson. They try the dredge line. They catch Frozen with it. Frozen getting very, very low. And here comes Kuve over the top after that teleport. Another beautiful setup for Samsung, and they take out Frozen. Get that Azir turret down as well, too. Now, can they take a turret or two?
They didn't clear out all the wards in their jungle, and they are punished for it, as there's nothing that can stop Kuve's TP into that fight. They're going to lose it tier 2. They're going to lose the next dragon, as Samsung just going to push this wave and turn right around into that objective, and then they may be able just to go for Baron immediately afterwards.
Yeah. All the ults used for IM except for Frozen's, but that's because he was dead. He couldn't ult then.
Yeah, should be pretty easy for Samsung. Dragon, you have the wave pressure, recall. Actually, somebody should go down, clean up bot, recall, and then set up for Baron. You have 50 seconds. Couldn't be more perfect in terms of timing. And there you go. Furious job. Push the bottom wave. Create that pressure onto the tier 2. Let's take a look at this again. Tucson trying to flash out of the depth charge. Great hook onto Frozen. Frozen just can't move very fast. And hello, Hecarim. And that's what happens when Hecarim gets into the late game against this composition.
Yep.
And remember, this was I am willingly picked into this. This wasn't something, there wasn't the wool pulled over their eyes in any way. They last picked Varus. Hecarim was picked in the second round of the draft, so they picked Nidalee, Rumble, and Varus after they saw the Hecarim.
Well, it's like we were talking about early on. You know, IM was just planning on being able to have that big mid-game power spike to get the siege done that they needed to, and they almost did. It was close. IM almost got this to work.
Yeah, it's just, I will say this, poke comps are the best compositions in League of Legends, because if you are good at warding your flanks, there's almost no counterplay, and you never actually have to commit to fights while constantly pushing your enemy objectives and getting them for free, right? But that's in a perfect use scenario. They're also the hardest compositions to play properly, because you make one error and the enemy team just ruins you.
Well, you need that, such a perfect combination of skill shot accuracy, positioning, warding. I mean, it takes a lot. And you need to do it all perfectly, too.
Yes. So it's definitely potent. I definitely like IM's composition, and it is beautiful to see it played perfectly, but it's also so incredibly difficult to do.
Yeah. Well, Baron is up. Samsung has a bunch of pink wards near the pit. Some wards in the enemy jungle as well, too. Meanwhile, though, Fury is still down in the bot lane. Looks like he's going to come back mid again, and they might make a play for it. But why wait, you know?
Why wait, indeed. So... Yep, Crown just poking his way through the blue buff. Great warding for Samsung around the Baron pit. They have eyes everywhere in the river. They can do the Baron really fast.
Oh, yeah.
Crown is in a great place this game. There's no Aegis on the enemy team. He doesn't even have to build any magic penetration if he doesn't want to.
Yeah,
Flat AP, perfectly acceptable.
Yeah, finishes his death cap. He's already got the Ludens.
I mean, there's no Abyssal Scepter on the Rumble. There's no MR. There's no MR. So, and there's no answer to Kuve doing this either.
This is the time. This is the time to start that Baron, I think. Pretty soon. They're going to keep it cleared out.
No, you don't have to start the Baron.
You don't?
Nope. Just sit there. Keep on clearing wards. Eventually they're going to run out of wards. Kuve doesn't have TP, so he can just keep moving from lane to lane. And if they decide, okay, now they see since they see where Corki is, they can do it.
That's right. So Tucson coming in with Ignar. Can they make something happen? Use already. And they do take the Baron. Samsung now over the wall. How much do they want to fight this? Crown doing a lot of poke.
Yeah, no reason to fight that. You got what you wanted, which is the Baron buff. Go ahead, recall buy from the turret kills, then actually set up for the pressure right there. When you see the Corki, then you can do it, because you know that at max at that point, because Apple's TP was down, it was a 4v3, and the Corki cannot walk past that Hecarim. So as long as Hecarim has the inside angle onto the Baron, perfectly safe. Samsung realizes that, takes a very clean Baron, and now they will be able to group and perhaps finish off this game.
Yeah, it's looking like they can. Another dragon up in a little less than 2 minutes as well. And that's something that Samsung can kind of, grab on their way out once they have everything pushed up, once they've sieged a bit. Maybe they'll grab it a little bit earlier. Yeah, poor IM. Just never seeming to really be able to execute long-term on anything they try to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard. Kuve has righteous glory now.
Why
Just,
not?
The icing on the cake. As if he really needed to move faster with that home guard.
It buffs his damage.
It does.
So that's why you get it.
I can't argue with that, Doa. I think it's a great item in this circumstance.
Oh, of course.
Oh, jeez.
Yep. That's gonna be hard for IM to deal with.
Now I can't wait for the next TP.
Yeah, it's gonna be very fast. Although he really could have built anything at this point and it would have been fine.
That's true. Had a chance for that Black Cleaver.
Yeah.
Help out Fury. Just, go in there, helicoptering his way to armor shred, and then Fury just hits like one ricochet and it chunks half the entire team down to half HP.
Seen it before. Yep. Samsung playing this out very coolly, very methodically, just taking out the enemy jungle, waiting for that dragon to come up, keeping the lanes pushed with that Baron buff. I feel like it's a little bit too passive, though. Do you think they're putting a bit too much priority on this dragon?
I think it's kind of whatever.
Just doesn't really matter at this point.
I think they should just finish this game and dive them.
I agree. Do dive. Maybe they'll have the
I think they should
courage
go.
now.
I think they should go for the style play, Doa. They should throw a ward inside the enemy base, right by the base gate, where it can't be seen by the turrets. And then Kuve should teleport in on that for a mega dive with Righteous Glory.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm all for that idea.
That's what I want to see happen.
He's just gonna dodge every skill shot in the top lane for now, I guess.
Come on, Samsung.
You can do it. You're 10,000 gold ahead. Come on.
I believe in you. I believe in you and your giant Hecarim.
Giant OP Hecarim.
I mean, Hecarim can just kill everybody on this team right now.
Probably.
No need to be shy. Don't need to be cautious. You have 6-item Hecarim. This is what this entire game has built up into.
No need to be shy, but do try being Smeb sometime.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Awfully true after our first set.
No kidding. Definitely don't be shy's top fizz.
Yeah, nobody. Please, nobody be that.
No.
I mean, they're just not getting any turret damage down right now because the pressure isn't being applied evenly by Samsung. The fact that Ignar can just stand here in the top lane right now, so can Tucson, means that they're not really putting the wave pressure down properly. Come on, auto-attack the turret, Sivir.
Yeah.
No, the turret!
Oh, it's getting a bit.
That was the ward I
awkward.
wanted. But they decided to ping ward
Oh,
it.
got in Italy traps.
Intelligently.
All right. Maybe now. No. No. No, not the time. Not yet.
Samsung's like, we really can't win this game without 5 dragons, guys. You're going to have to wait another 15 minutes for that one.
Oh, goody. Hooray.
I know what Samsung's doing. They're trying to bait them out of the base so they can just take a clean team fight and then win the game that way. They don't want to take the risk. But frankly, there's very little risk to turret diving against IM's composition. The Hecarim's going to get onto them before they can effectively use the Chain of Corruption. And using Annie to peel off of a Hecarim flank is just, that's not going to work.
Yeah, you think so. Void Staff picked up for Crown now, just because.
So here's what you do now that they have pink wards. So you're sitting there, you're sieging in the mid lane, and you just walk over, and then you spam your Sightstone just like 3 wards over there, and then you just try and get the TP down as fast as possible.
Or you just wait till somebody walks over to clear it, and you come over the wall with Onslaught of Shadows.
But I want to see the home guard. It's about the style points now, Doa.
Oh, I see.
Eva's Thornmail also. I don't really think that's a good item. I think you should have gotten Randuin's, but
Yeah. Oh, they're coming out. Coming out of the base. Maybe it's time for another Baron.
it is.
Maybe
It is, Doa.
Maybe it's time for a nap.
Yeah, it's also time for one of those.
Yeah. Seems that way.
Uh-oh.
Oh, well, they tried. They got the flash.
Mission success.
That's right. I mean, not having to worry about flash tippers actually is pretty nice. Oh, Crown got poked a bit there. Don't know how that happened. Oops. Oh, Samsung. Tibbers goes down, they stun Wraith. Eve coming back in immediately, powered up by that Sivir. A lot of damage onto Sunstar. Sunstar Valkyrie is away.
Here we go.
Yep, that's right, teleport coming in, and that is a fast Hecarim. Immediately ulting just onto Frozen. Oh boy. Run, Frozen. Good luck. Oh, too late, you're dead. And so, maybe now's the time. Frozen is gone, 70-second death timer here.
Did you mean it's time to take Baron, Doa?
Maybe it's time to take the turret.
I would hope
Oh,
so.
here we go. Yeah, they're coming in. He activated. They're going to turn around to the turret, take that right away. Eve taking a lot of damage. Looks like he'll go down, but not until they're able to do a lot of damage to this space. Inhibitor taken out.
They lost their jungler, though, so they can't do Baron now.
Oh, I bet they can, Monty. I bet that's exactly where they're going. Losing the jungler was a cue to take Baron.
That's how they like to roll.
That's right. Oh, no.
Here we go, hiding
This-
in bushes.
This looks like a Fnatic type of thing to do. Oh, wah, wah. Oh, well. Oh, hi.
Kube's back.
Oh, and he's got his ult back already again. Apple taking a lot of damage. Nice onslaught of shadows. Whoa! Well, this one's over, guys. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough to make it back from that one, guys. Oh boy.
The style points.
I like it. Flash Emperor's Divide, and that divide symbolizes the divide in gold between these two teams right now.
Rick
Perhaps
Troll looked really
skill as well.
impressed at that play.
I guess so. It's like I used to do something like that on Lee Sin. Well,
That'll be it.
that is definitely it. Crown getting a bit low. Frozen's still able to poke decently, but GGG. Oh, by another kill for Crown. Why not? There goes the Nexus.